36 alive.
If we could, there doesn't seem to be any shortage of power out there. I was actually trying to, for our Unix WIMTACH, professor actually like bought server time on Azure, $250 worth of it, so that people could like try out what it feels like using Linux completely remotely. And like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try these out. I'll host a server. I'll host a virtual machine for people to SSH into from my desktop at Res. No ports open, and I can't do it anymore. Yeah, nothing.
Good to you.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Okay, slides for the presentation. We'll go by the
I don't know. So you guys can go off.
Very nice.
I put my I switched to the crawl.
yeah. So
Well, last semester I not great.
And our last hackathon
So I have to impress you.
Yeah, you should before they fine, you should do like exactly.
I was actually trying to apply for like this summer to get into cooperative despite not being the right time because it'd be right next to it. But like I was just trying to. They don't want people to work.
So these are
2 years. But
I should sort of try and get really friendly with Professor Piotr because he actually works at overseas. And he actually says, for every class that he meets, he actually. I just gotta be one of the But then I won't be working in the yeah.
What's the name of the file?
Yeah.
Like even if it's in June, you can get there.
But he's also and there's like one or two like the teachers with black I just can't I'm gonna put some like batting the word David? Yeah. Yeah, he's not too bad. Well, I don't know how hard he was because I didn't pay attention. So they knew the Oh, I have yeah, well, I mean, he's like pushing her like into everything. Even when it's supposed to be the JavaScript stuff. Like I do get really good still. Sounds like the Shamall guy. It's one of those sort of games where if you close our eyes, you have to start from the very beginning.
Okay.
At the tannery.
At a tannery.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. So do you know
I was thinking of that. That probably makes sense.
recognize?
Actually, we're going to keep this game around. So I'll let you have to eat it. I don't have nothing else.
This is Sarah.
You hide the fact that that the screen is actually smaller than the actual window that you're running in. And you have the screen like look smaller than it is running in a smaller window. So that when you overfeed the camera, it actually breaks the window, sort of flops out. Almost 9:05. So good morning, each and everyone. Wow, it's a huge crowd today. Thank you very much for coming. To our industry partners, to our students, friends, thank you very much for gracing this occasion because today marks the first day of our 2-day event, our hackathon here at WIMTACH, which is Wearable, Interactive, and Mobile Technology Access Center Health. So today, as I've said, marks the first day of our hackathon activity, wherein industry partners will provide challenges to the students, and the students will try to provide solutions for these challenges, and they will have to present their respective solutions at the end of this event. So without further ado, let me turn now the floor to our WIMTACH manager, Dr. Purnima Chagi, for a welcome address.
thank you, Jay. Welcome everyone, and very good morning to you. And as Jejal Vidar is saying, start off 2 days, exciting activities, good challenge for students. I would like to welcome colleagues from South Lake Regional and the Scarborough Hospital, as well as Ted from the Smoke Bomb, and and all the students who will, take part in this challenge and create something unique for all the, problems, good solution for all the problems given to them. So I would like to take a minute in introducing my colleagues over here. Jejal Vidad is the project manager at WIMTACH. Majura Maheshwaran is mobile app development research associate. Hannah Wright is the admin assistant. Vikram over there, Vikramjit Singh is product validation and software development research associate. Purya Chaukiwal is missing. He is a mechanical engineer and a new research associate in WIMTACH. Without taking much time, I would now like to invite Deepak Gupta, who is the director of the Applied Research, Innovation and Entrepreneurship Services. A long name like WIMTACH, and Deepak will talk about all programs, how we support companies, and how we support hospitals and students. Thank you.
Thank you, Purnima. I'm really delighted, to see this huge turnout, and thanks to our industry partners, for helping us, bring this hackathon together. I'm now convinced I need to ask, our management for more space, for all the stuff we do here. So, again, thanks to all of you. The Applied Research and Innovation Entrepreneurship Services is essentially 3 different centers. We provide, research, innovation, entrepreneurship services across all 4 campuses. You may not know much, but we are one of Canada's top colleges for research and innovation. We've been ranked in the top 15, Canadian research colleges for 3rd year in a row. Last year, we probably had around 300 to 400 students who had, experiential learning opportunities, around research and innovation. And we recently did a survey on, what impact it had on them. And we looked at the data from the last 3 years of students who graduated, and we found that they had a higher employment rate compared to students who did not have these effects, or we should say more so compared to the students from general pool. We found that they were more satisfied with their college experience, and we also found that they found jobs connected to their field of study. So we are obviously very excited about this. This is really about student success. And more power to you. I know you will, do well. That I've been impressed with what I saw on the previous hackathon. So as much as you professors think, you're not paying attention in class, and just this is your chance to prove them wrong, and show them all that you're capable of. And speak a little bit about some of the other services we have through AVs. We have an internal call for funding that we use to support research students who have some innovative ideas that they want to bring to life. The call went out just yesterday. Again, this actually, you have to write a small proposal, and you need to have a faculty or staff member who will agree to mentor you or supervise you. But it does give you money, and you'll be able to pay yourself as well as cover the project expenses, if you're successful. Take advantage of it. There are many such opportunities here at the college. We also have an accelerator for student-led and youth-led startups. It's operating in our student association building on the 2nd floor. There is also another zone. It's called Axel. So there's one Axel zone here at Progress campus. There is also another Axel zone at the Storia Center campus. And another thing I can add is that we also help those of you that have entrepreneurial interest to get some support and actually incubate your ideas in partnership with the industry partner. We have a company that is interested now in soliciting ideas from students that they are going to put their supports around. So they have development teams. They'll pay like a living wage and everything. And over a period of a year, you will be able to bring any idea that you might have to that. Again, really impressed with the huge turnout. Wish you the very best over the next 2 days. And I know, if the previous hackathon is any indication, I'll be wowed tomorrow when I see your project work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deepak, for providing us a very comprehensive nutshell of what we do here at ARIS. So now I'll turn the floor to the Software Programs Coordinator at ICET Department, Dr. Ilya.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone. what a beautiful crowd today. Last time we had less, I would say, and next time I know that we have much more. We need space if we actually put it, so we need more space. Thank you to industry partners. Thank you to all of you. You're brave. You have many assignments this week and still you're here. I don't know if your professors know it. Well, last year I actually said that software is taking the planet by storm. Actually, that was an understatement. It's taking probably all the planets by storm. Software technologies today are the best thing that is happening to solve a lot of problems in people's lives, and some of the problems actually that industry partners will pose today will be solved by you in 2 days, or probably will be started to be solved by you in 2 days. Centennial is big on experiential learning. We believe very much that, of course, like every other school, we provide a curriculum to you, we provide courses to you, lecture, theory, lab assignments, and so on. But the best way to do it is to bring industry partners, give you real problems, real-world problems, and then have you solve the real-world problems. As Deepak actually said earlier, when you solve a real-world problem and then you go to apply for a job, you will have that experience. I can tell you that. A lot of you may be co-op students, and some of you are not co-op students. If you solve a real problem here, you may even do more than some co-op jobs out there. And co-op students know that. So do participate more in activities like this one. It will definitely make your resume look much stronger and will make you actually learn a lot of stuff that you may not be able to learn in class. So this is the biggest thing actually that is happening, and hackathons are the best way to do it. So do participate in hackathons, and I congratulate you for that. And that's why I told you you're brave that you came. You left all the exams and assignments and everything, and you came here to do this 2 days thing. Software developers are problem solvers, and there are so many problems out there. Every time that I see there is a problem, we see on the news, this thing is hard, this thing is not working well, and so on. I kind of am sad in a way, but more happy because there are more problems for us to solve. So there is more work for my students. That's how I see it. So every time that you see something that is happening, is not doing well, is not working well, you can improve it. And software technologies today can improve a lot of things. It didn't used to be like that even a decade ago or 2 decades ago. So that's something that I would actually like to encourage you and keep actually looking at the problems out there, especially social problems. There are so many things you guys are all actually about. We are aware about a lot of social actually problems that we have in our communities, in the country, around the world, and so on. And think about these things and how we can actually use software technologies to solve them, or to use software technologies to help solving them, because sometimes is a cross combination of things that are necessary to solve these problems. The last thing that I wanted to say is experiential learning is good, and solving problems out there is good as well. But keeping your brain in shape is better than everything else. And how can you keep your brain in shape? Is by challenging yourself with problems like this. You become better at it, and you become actually better developers, better software engineers, and better citizens of this planet. I want to congratulate you again for showing up, and I wish you luck in the 2 days that are coming. Okay, so all the best.
Thank you very much, Professor, for that very inspiring words, most especially for dear students. Okay, so this is a challenge for you today. Okay, so may we hear from one of our industry partners who is here today from Smokebomb. Let me call on Ted Biggs, who is the Vice President for Convergent and Technology for Smokebomb.
Hi. I have a presentation, but I'm not going to take the time so you guys can get right to your tasks. We came to Centennial about 1.5 years ago, and we were talking to about 8 other colleges and universities in the GTA and around the province. And we were blown away by the enthusiasm that the faculty and the students brought. We have 2 programmers in-house. You probably know a few of you will know them, who have been helping us with 3 projects that are cutting-edge technology entertainment projects. A little bit about our company. Smokebomb Entertainment is the digital arm of Shaftesbury Entertainment, which is the largest private television production company in Canada. We do Murdoch Mysteries, we do Houdini and Doyle, which is a new series on Fox. We did The Listener and a bunch of other shows. What we're doing at Smokebomb Entertainment is pushing the boundary of technology so that it better services our clients in branded entertainment. We did a series called Carmilla, which some of you may know, which is a YouTube series, where I think we have about 30 million views and rising right now. Our clients include Royal Bank, Ubi Kotex, McDonald's, that sort of thing. So we're really moving forward in a meaningful way to take technology into the world and break through the fourth wall, we call it. We want to start doing technology that goes into the world that people can use, that extends brands and stories in a way that we create a conversation with our audience. What we mean by that is, at the same time that we're offering entertainment, we are getting something back from the audience. We're getting feedback, a constant conversation with our audience. So it's a two-way thing. It's a conduit with our audience. This is really a growth area. We're going through some funding rounds shortly, and we're looking for new recruits, which is primarily why I come up to these things. So always looking for the best and brightest and young minds with lots of enthusiasm. Three things where I should mention, the three projects I'm working on right now with Centennial are wearable technology called Glow. I have a presentation, but it's a wearable thing that responds to positive social media. It actually came with the Ryerson Master's program. We're doing a Connect game, which helps kids in physical rehab and ideally helps people with impaired brain function. That's anything from brain injury to Alzheimer's, and we're working with UBC as well on that. And we've developed a proprietary game platform called Snowflake, which is essentially a programmable tile system that you put together and put on the ground, and you jump around, and it becomes a game controller. It's aimed at 3 to 11-year-olds, 4 to 11-year-olds, we'll see. And the guys from Centennial who have come in have been indispensable in that process. So we're keeping them as long as we can. So that's my brief speech. Things like this are absolutely great. If you guys are looking for jobs and you want to make a difference, there are a lot of companies out there who are looking for solutions and looking for your creativity as well as your programming talent. There's a lot of companies like us. We like to think we're the best, but we're pretty new and we're moving ahead as quickly as we can. But good luck.
Thank you very much, Ed. So for the challenge parkour, first we will start with the Scarborough Hospital. So to provide the first challenge, which is the hand hygiene auditing application. So may I call in Ronnie Leong, who is an infection control practitioner from the Infection Prevention and Control Department of the same institution.
Good morning. I put together some slides very quickly yesterday, so bear with me. I'm just recovering from a cold, so I'm trying to project my face as best as I can. So let me just introduce to you the purpose of hand hygiene. So hand hygiene is actually something that's marked as a safety indicator. For patients that come to the hospital, to prevent hospital-acquired infections, hand hygiene is linked strongly with prevention of hospital-acquired infections. And so hand hygiene is actually publicly broadcast, like our compliance is actually mandated to be shown in the Public Health Ministry website and like on an annual basis. So all the healthcare facilities in Ontario must report hand hygiene data. So it's something that's been mandated by the government since 2008. So everybody's doing their own hand hygiene app. Some people are doing it on paper with one or two individuals from one or two departments. Others like us, we're actually relying on the frontline staff to audit each other and to provide this data. And we've been looking at better ways on how we can actually get this data, collect it all, and then present it back to the frontline staff who wants to see how they're doing and if they have met. As an institution, we've met a target for them to complete not so many number of audits a month so that they stay on track and that it is something that they're monitoring each other on a constant basis on hand hygiene. So we actually moved from the paper-based to an online app in 2013, 2014. And our challenge at the moment is having this, trying to get a hand hygiene platform that can do several things. It can provide teaching to the staff so that they are aware of what is hand hygiene and what is to be audited. Secondly, being able to capture their data, so an app that will allow them to log in and perform these data audits. And then thirdly, to have the data produce some results in forms of graphs or any presentable format that the staff, frontline staff, can easily see and interpret. And also to be able to have these reports sent out periodically by itself without the background work, like manual background work by one or two individuals, so that it is, when people want it, they can just click into it and be able to access this data. So how does it, so I just put in the process of what happens currently. So currently, I myself, because I work in infection control, people send me an email such as this to ask me, can you please assign my staff to this hand hygiene audit? So last week I got a request to be training over 150 staff. So we have in the hospital intranet, we call iConnect in the Scarborough Hospital, we have something called the Learning Institute, LMS, we call it. We log into the Learning Institute. I go in and I manually assign the staff to this hand hygiene app that we've kind of updated sort of on an annual basis lately. And so I go into each and every, either by department or by individuals, those who need to be assigned to this learning. So then once I assign their learning on a weekly basis, because it is quite manual, on a weekly basis, I and two other colleagues of mine, we take turns actually, and we pull this data from this learning management system, what we call LMS. We pull the data on who's learned, who's done this, completed this training on the hand hygiene app. And so it pulls up the data and it reports, it sends a report like this that we generate. So last week we only had one person trained, as you can see. And so what we do from, what I take from that is with the list of certified auditors from the LMS, I go back to the LMS in the admin side of LMS and I pull out these individuals assigned Meditech ID. So for those of you who aren't familiar with hospital computer apps, we do have a platform where we do like, it's called Meditech that we use at our Scarborough Hospital, and it allows us to put in tests, put in any assessments that we've done, any patients' vital signs, anything that's charting online, we do through a software called Meditech. And so everybody's assigned an individual ID, and that's specific to you. And so I have to go back to that database to pull that individual's assigned ID, because the last name, it usually is the first four letters of the last name, first two letters of your first name, but having several individuals with the same last names, common first name initials, and or people get married, they change their last names, and you may not know from their current last name that this is their assigned ID. So we do have a lot of complications with that. I actually, from that, we give them their IDs and we put that into our master list of trained auditors, and I just want to show you what it looks like. So I downloaded it here. So we have at the moment almost 900 assigned IDs. So individually, every week, we pull these individuals who's been trained and we sort them out through what department they're from, when they were trained, their assigned IDs, their name, if they've received in-service. So our list is actually quite comprehensive, and we filter it individually by the campus they belong to. And then at the end of it all, we take their assigned ID, we put it right now into something called a lookup sheet. And so for those of you who are, I'm sure many of you are familiar with Excel, once that's done, sorry. I'm going to go put that into a list, and I'll show you what we do with that after. And we also sent an email to the staff and the CRLs to say, so-and-so from your department has been trained, and they can go ahead and perform these audits. The reason why we want to make sure people are trained is because we want to make sure there's a certain standard that they all know that they're auditing, and that there's no individual variability of what they're expected to audit. And so we do have currently we have an online app that we use to log in these IDs. We also have a paper tool that we allow them to print off in the event that they can't go on online right away. We ask them to download this form. So it does look like this, where they enter their observer ID, the date they audited, the shift, the site, so the unit that they audited, and the healthcare provider categories listed here, the moments, the individual moments that they're looking at. So the online app looks like this. It's a SurveyMonkey platform. And so it's drop-down list so that it prevents them from entering any erroneous data. And so we do have 3 different sites. And then once they fill all the columns with the asterisks, they're allowed to move on. So I won't show you the rest of it, it gets too long. And then from that, every 3 times a month, we pull this data from the SurveyMonkey platform. So as you can see, I downloaded this yesterday. We have over 18,000 response since 2013 when we've been using this, just specifically for the hand hygiene. So it's a lot of data. And so what that provides us with is data that we're actually supposed to provide feedback to the frontline staff. And part of the feedback is something called observation updates. So 3 times a month, again, with that information that I pull, we provide a report like this. It shows them what month, and this is the target for those individual units and how many they have completed. So we've got 2 campus, and then the satellites we don't really report on. So this is one of the reports that we actually expect to see, or the frontline expect to see, so they know that whether or not they're staying on track. And so this is something that all of the Scarborough Hospital can access through the iConnect. And SurveyMonkey, an example of the SurveyMonkey data download looks like this. So from all these data, we use that lookup field that I spoke to you about previously, and we throw an Excel formula in to filter everything out, and then we manually take this data and we put it together. And once a month, we produce it, not we, but decision support in our hospital helps us produce a report that looks like this. So the report basically has a 6-month rolling average of the number of audits that's been completed, the individual healthcare providers, and this is the 1-year rolling average of the individuals and their performance in terms of their compliance at the 4 moments of hand hygiene. And this is that specific unit, which is 4C in this case, and their 6-month rolling compliance data. So this is one of the reports that we'd like to see. And I spoke to you before about the lookup. That's just this this list that just keeps on growing every week that we're expected to upkeep. So the purpose of the app, we're hoping to ask WIMTACH to be able to perform for us is to be able to put all these platforms together in one single software. The training of the auditor, the auditing, and then the data analysis and being able to produce graphs and send them out to specific individuals that we set out. Any questions? I got you in a cloud now. Thank you.
About the WIMTACH IT, is it stored in, you said it's comes from a different system, right?
It comes from the LMS system. It can be pulled from there. But I was hoping that when the staff logs into your app, in the right from the get-go, we write, please log in with your Meditech ID. And please log in with the unit from which like your unit. So then when they do that, automatically those two are crossed out. We don't need to pull that from the LMS system anymore. And that will be stored into a central database in this app that you hopefully will be able to provide for us. And then from there we'll work. We'll take, like it minimizes that pulling of the data from which unit and the need to look up where they belong to and then send that email to those individuals.
Okay. So right now, do you authenticate using the data from the LMS, right?
Pardon me?
When you log into your system, you use the LMS authentication. Like it's the LMS login screen. And that's what you want to replace with this system's login screen, right?
This system, well, we're hoping that WIMTACH is able to provide a new software. It doesn't have to connect with our LMS at all, but being able to have them log in with their assigned ID will eliminate the need for us to go back into the LMS and look up these people. Is this ID correct? What is their ID? Because when they go into LMS, they don't have to put in their ID. And then also, we don't know from which unit they work, and therefore we don't know who to send, like the managers and the educators or the individual where they belong to classify them in that big lookup list that we have. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Who are the people have to hand sanitize? It's only surgeons or nurses, everyone else?
No, everybody who works in the hospital, we call them healthcare providers. So it could be nurses, physiotherapists, social workers, dietitian, anybody who works with the patient. They're expected to perform hand hygiene when they interact with the patient.
Okay, they just take water, they put the gel and fingertips like that. So the trainers actually will go through the training module, and it will tell them that the expectation is they either clean their hands with sanitizer and they rub, through the front back of their hands, and the expected time they are expected to clean their hands for, or wash their hands with soap and water, under what circumstance they would need to do that. So it's explained in the education.
I have a question. Yes. Regarding the training part, as you mentioned, like what will be the medium, whether it is a PDF file, videos, or like what medium is it for the training?
For the training, we actually, on the LMS, we've had videos infused into like a PowerPoint type of presentation as well. I think we use Articulate with the LMS with this particular training. And it actually has videos, so it shows the staff scenarios where this is the scenario, where do you see the moments of hand hygiene? So we explain step by step what they usually do in a common setting when they interact with patients and what the expectation is when they need to clean their hands. I also have provided the hand hygiene training, which I didn't show in here, but it's quite long. Yes.
How do users access like a machine, like a device to access the application? Does everyone have their own like domain, username and password, or is it just like an open workstation where you just log into the software with your own ID?
Are you talking about the actual auditing piece?
No, like to access to the application itself.
What application? The training?
Yeah, the training and also the training per se, yeah.
Okay, so the initial training is assigned by us through LMS, the Learning Management System. Once we assign that staff, they log into the system and they complete the training.
How do they log into the system? Is it individual workstations or is it central workstation?
So it is actually throughout the hospital. We have something called we have desktops that has this iConnect on the front of the desktop. They can just log in.
So it's just an open desktop that anybody can just come
That's
to.
Right.
Okay.
That's right. So they need to they'll go into the tab called Learning and they'll log in. But they will have a login, which is
to the application.
To this application, which would be, if not, I can't be sure if it's similar or identical to Meditech ID.
Okay.
Yes.
I have one question. If an individual signs in and starts looking at all the data,
yeah,
will they see like specific data or do they see like everyone's?
So at the moment, we send the list that I showed you where we had a monthly observation. This one here is for everybody. This doesn't say how well you're doing compliance. It just tells you which unit, how many observations were completed. So this is for all to see. The report that I showed you, this one, is sent specifically to the specific unit and professional practice areas, so that people in medicine will not be able to know what's happening in surgery unless they share the data. I don't think we've actually asked the question whether or not, do you want to see each other's data? I don't think we've gone there, but we try to keep it so that it's all within a specific program.
What if someone didn't scrub their hands and just lie to the data?
That does happen, and I'm not going to say it's not true, but that's one of the challenge that we have with hand hygiene at the moment. Besides this challenge, we also have validating whether or not that data is correct. It's hard to be exactly 100% true with your data. The only way you can do it is with video surveillance, where you retrospectively survey after the fact. When you do that, though, there is no chance for the on-the-spot feedback to the person who is being audited. So if you had gone into the patient and you didn't clean your hands, I'm auditing you at the moment and I saw that you didn't clean your hands. The expectation for the staff is I would go to you and say, oh, I just monitored your hand hygiene and I noticed you missed here before going to the patient's bedside. You forgot to clean your hands. So the expectation is that the staff provides feedback so that the staff can change their practice moving forward. So that's why we like the in-person audit as opposed to relying on technology and video surveillance versus the badge that scans close. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but there are technologies out there that can detect the person's ID badge when they come close to a hand hygiene station. So when they come close, they sense, and that's how it collects data. This way, we do have pros and cons, as every different methods will provide you. And this one we feel that is more personable because then you can interact with the person who's auditing you. And we do have fictitious data, we're not going to lie, as other institutions have the same challenge.
Okay, your priority is get the actual data or just data collection? I mean, you want actual 100% they clean their hands data or just want a database all this data?
At the moment with WIMTACH, we're looking for data collection, so training up the auditing, and then being able to collect the survey and producing results for everybody to see. So that's what we're aiming to do with WIMTACH. So it's not getting 100% compliance at the moment. We'll tackle one thing at a time.
Since we have 5 more presenters, maybe just ask one more question.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, so is staff required to input this information immediately after they wash their hands or like at the end of the shift?
So the staff, like if I was an auditor, the expectation from me is as soon as I capture an audit and there's an online computer available, I'm expected to input that data right away, so that the audit is not forgotten later on, because the day gets by and you do get busy and you forget what you're supposed to do. So that's the expectation. That's why we try to move it to an online platform. Thank you for all your questions.
So, suggestion for student. So looking at time, why don't you write your questions for specific challenges, because you will get some time with these people who are the settings to ask specific questions, right?
So moving forward. Okay, to give the second challenge for the Scarborough Hospital, we call on Alfred Eng, who is the Director of the Innovation and Performance Improvement Office, Clinical Operations Support of the Scarborough Hospital. Oh, sorry, so it's the Catherine. Yes.
Do you need a chair?
Oh, that would be fantastic. Oh, yes. Would you like a chair as well?
So I'll stay standing up until I get tired enough. So hi everybody, my name is Kathy Chen. I am an improvement facilitator from the Scarborough Hospital, and I'm very happy to be here today with Alfred, our Director of Innovation and Performance and Planning, and Ethan, one of our team members here today to take part in today's hackathon. Now, before I go into our challenge, which is an IO app challenge, I want to give you a little bit of background of our hospital. So the Scarborough Hospital is a community hospital right here in East Toronto, just around the corner. People know where it is?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And we serve as one of the most ethnically diverse communities in the city. We have 2 campuses, 6 community satellite sites, and we have approximately 3,000 staff members, 700 physicians, and 600 volunteers, so a very large team. So at TSH, we want to continuously improve the quality of the care and the services we provide our patients and also the community. We want to eliminate unnecessary waste in our processes so that we can provide the best care possible. The improvement team, headed by Alfred, came into place a couple of years ago, and our goal is to build a culture of continuous improvement and innovation at the hospital. Now, to build continuous improvement into practice, it really starts with engaging our people, our clinicians, our leadership team, and our frontline staff, because they're the expert in what they do. So they have lots of great improvement ideas. And one of our goals is to provide the tools that they need so that they can problem solve, but also help develop a lean management system and also processes where people are encouraged to bring forward their improvement ideas and have mechanisms that they can come together to problem solve together and act on them together. So thank you, Alfred, for coming up with me. So you can take a seat.
That was serving a great purpose.
Okay, so over the past couple of years, the improvement team has worked with many different areas in the hospitals, from our emergency department, our medicine floor, surgical units, and some of the non-clinical areas like environmental services, IT, finances, a lot of people. And one of the things that we started doing is we want to incorporate what we call the improvement huddle into our daily practice. Now these areas, what they start doing is setting up these whiteboards that I have on the picture here in the local areas, and run a 15-minute huddle, whether daily or weekly. So I'm not going to go into the full detail of how this huddle works, but I want to share with you how people share their improvement ideas through this improvement huddle. So we have these paper improvement opportunity cards. We call them the IO cards. When people see a problem, see an opportunity for improvement, we encourage them to capture that onto this paper IO, write down what their thoughts are, what the suggestions are, and post it on the board so it becomes visible for the whole team. So when the team comes together for the improvement huddles, they will problem solve together. They will review what the problem statement is, prioritize, and then discuss to see if it's something that they want to act on. So this is a really engaging process, and we really want to maintain this process. The challenge comes in when we try to capture all these ideas that are captured on these IO cards. So at the end of every month, imagine all these areas coming with their IOs. We have to collect all of these paper IOs. So whether the admin team members on the team or managers, they will go into the desktop, open up the spreadsheet, document what their IOs are, and these individual areas will email to our central improvement office, our admin staff, and they will pull together all these separate spreadsheets and merge together to document it so that we can track them, and then to do further analysis so we can share with the hospital how are we spotting opportunities in our hospitals and how are we performing. We do have a target of 1 IO completed per staff per year. So we want to see if we're trending in the right direction. So some of the challenges with the current process, well, we have 2 different campuses, so many different departments, areas, and units, and there are multiple process steps. This is really just a very simple depiction of what's happening. Imagine so many different areas putting their own separate spreadsheets, and the emails coming through at separate times, somebody to track and merge all the information, and then the analysis at the end, and then a data push, a email push, just to share the information. And there are a lot of handoffs before the information can be shared and centralized, and it takes time. And that unnecessarily creates opportunities for processing delays. So this is where we think you can help us. So this is our hackathon challenge. We want to develop a web and mobile tool that any frontline users can use to track and share improvement opportunities that are completed from the local areas across the hospital. So very simple, but some of the things that we're looking for are listed here. We want to make sure that it's easy to document and capture. You know, our clinicians are not working at the desk. They're in the units, they're working with patients, so they're not going to have a computer in front of them all the time. We want to make it easy for them to track their opportunities. Some of the information that we're looking for include, you know, just the date completed. What is the problem statement? What is the solution? Is it an improvement opportunity that actually improve the patient's experience, for example? We want to be able to tag those IOs because that's a challenge right now. It's hard to go back to look at what are the opportunities because, you know, there's so many areas, but they might have similar issues and challenges, but it's not easily searchable, our database right now. So is there opportunities to tag it so that we can find it and look it up afterwards? And then also we're thinking, well, can we make it even more easy for our team? Can we do a picture to text kind of way of capturing, or even just speech to text, just to make it easy for someone to grab the app, not take, you know, a sit down for a full 15 minutes to capture the IOs, that can do it right on the spot. Okay, so that's kind of what we're envisioning. We want to make sure that it can actually be used on different types of devices. You know, some of our staff might work at the computer workstations, but a lot of people are still using BlackBerries. Nowadays, we're starting to transition to other types of platforms like iPhones and Android. So we want to make it accessible through all these different platforms if possible. And then we also want to see how we're doing. We want to see, you know, are we moving in the right direction in engaging our team members? So we want to be able to see the trends in the number of completed improvement opportunities. And we also want to make it easy for people to access the inventory of ideas that have came up in the past. And ability to export the data, because we want to make sure that we can further analyze the data and that we can share it with our larger hospitals and loop back to our staff. And most important of all, we really want to make it visual, we want to make it fun to use. So we're really open to any ideas how we can make this experience even better. Maybe some opportunities to gamify the experience. We're going to leave it up to you guys to help us figure it out. But that's basically our challenge. And I think Purnima said we can have questions afterwards. But any comments right now to clarify?
Can I just, I'm a physical therapist and I work in a hospital, I work on the floor. This is good. I'm not trying to take away from the other ideas right here, right? But the greatest resource, in my opinion, in a hospital is not the equipment, but it's the people in it. Right? And healthcare needs solutions. And if we can get all frontline staff, get their ideas out there and get those solutions out there, and this is a way for us to be able to get our ideas and solutions out there, maybe we can find better solutions for healthcare. But like this would definitely facilitate the process. I got 1, 2 though, right?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so moving forward, let us hear from the second hospital. But before that, allow me to introduce to you, first to give us an introduction of the South Lake Regional Health Center, who is the Director of Research and Innovation, Create IT Now at South Lake Innovation Center. Let us all welcome Sir Patrick Clifford.
Thank you so much. I have a presentation securely in my pocket, which really won't do a whole lot of good at the moment. You know what, I just think in terms of time, I think I'm going to forgo it. So it's a delight to be here on behalf of South Lake, and you're going to meet a number of our South Lake team this morning. You've heard from one of them already. So we're a very engaged group, and this is the first time sort of being here at Centennial and having this opportunity. A colleague a moment ago asked about whether folks can move where the Scarborough Hospital is. Who knows where South Lake is? So the test gets harder as you go on, right? so where is South Lake?
It's nice in Newmarket.
Newmarket. Excellent. Awesome. All right. So see, that's prize winning right there. So yeah, so absolutely. So York Region, north of Steeles, and you know, for some folks it's kind of like north of Bloor, right? North of Steeles. So York Region is about 1 million folks, and South Lake is actually in Newmarket. So Newmarket is the geographic center of York Region. So our hospital, similar to the Scarborough Hospital, kind of one site, but about 3,000 staff, you know, 500 positions, $350 million organization. But one campus, and Scarborough's a little bit larger in terms of the number of campuses. It created now that I spoke about a moment ago is our innovation center. So South Lake has an innovation center. We've been sort of doing it kind of in a virtual world for probably 3 or 4 years, and we kind of opened in October of 2015 our physical space. It's about 4,000 square feet, and we work with a lot of startup early stage companies. And the slides would have been really cool, and I would have showed some of that. And I can leave them, and you can distribute them or do something with it if you want at some point. But part of working with small sort of startup companies, kind of medium-sized sort of enterprises, is really around solutions. So to get to Owen's comment a few minutes ago, we know that healthcare is is an $80 billion operation in Ontario, public and private. You know, $50 billion is sort of public spend. 43% of the Ontario budget at this point. That's just Ontario. So a crushing crushing financial impacts in terms of its sustainability. So we know that we need to do things differently, and certainly technology, innovative ideas, innovative thinking is going to be part of that. So working with entrepreneurs of all ages, young, middle-aged, those that have been on the planet for a while, is certainly something that we're interested in. We're interested in cultivating from our staff in terms of their interests, and we're certainly interested in kind of bigger picture issues in terms of healthcare and how we solve some of the challenges. So what you're going to hear certainly from myself and colleagues this morning are a handful. There are about 15 projects or so that kind of came forward. We've sort of narrowed those down a little bit and brought some of that total number here. So I'm going to turn things over to my colleagues, and happy to respond to other questions about something sort of later on. But anyway, have a great 2 days. Very interested in all of the products that are going to come out of this, including those that will relate to something. Enjoy, and
Okay, so to provide us with the first challenge for the Salt Lake Hospital, let me call on Dr. Ivan Young, who is the head of the Medical Physics, Stronach Regional Cancer Center of the same institution, who will be talking about the anti-smoking application challenge.
Hi, I'm Ivan Young. I'm very happy here today to participate in this hackathon. I'm looking at a generation which master mobile technology to help us to make this world better. The idea we are bringing forward today is an innovative anti-smoking education app for youth. So before I go any further, I want to introduce our research team. It's myself and Dr. Mosley. We have medical physicists from Radiation Medicine Program, Jennifer and Sarah, and they're from prevention and screening team. Sarah is with me today, and Joanne is from diagnostic assessment program. So the cold hard facts of smoking. Tobacco smoking is responsible for 1 out of 5 deaths in Canada. 1 out of 5. And if you are a non-smoker, I have good news for you, because your life expectancy is longer by 10 years than your next door neighbor who's a smoker. And the risk of dying from lung cancer is 18 times for smokers. Not just the risk of getting lung cancer, but dying from lung cancer is 18 times higher. Last year, we in Stronach Regional Cancer Center, we saw over 400 new cancer patients. And think about that. Less than 100 of them will survive 5 years later. That means over 300 of them will die within the 5 years' time. And it costs, this is all figures, and I bet that it costs tens of billions, if not billions, if not tens of billions of dollars to treat ailments arisen from smoking. Now, this is the statistic of smoking for grade 7 to 12 students. The red line is active smokers, and the blue line is initiation of smoking. As you all can see that there's a big jump of smoking and initiation of smoking at grade 9 high school. So if you can catch the children at grade 9 or shortly before grade 9 and tell them smoking is bad, hopefully they will be able to avoid being part of these statistics. Now, advertising 101, how do you do marketing? First of all, you have to reach your consumer. It's not enough to just reach them. You have to get their attention. You have to get their ears. And repeated messaging stick. And because, you know, it's apparent that sometimes you see annoying advertisement. You repeat it, because they know that repeating the messages that will stick in the brain. Now, there's an opportunity in digital age. About 47% of teens between 13 and age 17 carry not just a cell phone, a smartphone. For those teens with a smartphone, they spend more than 50% of the downtime on smartphones outside school. This is not based on any statistics, anecdotal data in my home. Even my wife spends more than 50% of her downtime using the smartphone. And the median attention span, on the other hand, for watching a video is only 30 seconds. So a solution, a mobile solution for the mobile generation. So we are proposing a mobile app in the form of a trivia game. It has to be it's youth-friendly, quick and simple, and the participants can download and play. And anti-smoking messages can flash out on the screen and can be given or can be passed through these trivial questions, say 5 of them. And you have to give them incentive to play. So the idea is that if we can have a weekly or monthly draw for prize as an incentive to play. Prize, you know, maybe in an iTunes gift card or something like that. So, and these questions will be refreshed every weekly. If we have a weekly draw, it will be refreshed every weekly over a period of time. And we have our hypothesis is that repeated messages will create a negative attitude towards smoking. Now, the original idea of the research plan, which is, you know, we are looking for money to support this research plan, is that we'll have a focus group in the beginning from teenagers to tell us what's appealing to them, what is the prize that they want, and how the app should look. And then the next step is to create the app. And the last step is that we have to have real data to support our hypothesis. We are going to run a pilot study to test the hypothesis, to have a group of teens, have them to also have a survey of their attitude towards smoking, have them to participate in this game period, and then survey them again after the game period. Where you're coming in is your creation of the app. Now, as I said, we are looking for money to support this research, and what you could help us is to create a prototype to show to company, to show to government agency, look, it is workable. So what are the functionalities and also the design criteria of the app? It has to be teens friendly. It has to be able to display maybe sort of a short video or pictures with anti-smoking messages as a front page. Understand this is a proof of concept, so it is sufficient in this project to be able to just show some picture or some video on the front page. The user has to be logged in, but the traditional way is to manually register and to the database. But it will be even better if there's some kind of automatic way to recognize the phone, the unit, serial number or the phone itself. So it has to be able to detect the location of the phone, because you want to sort of roll out this project in a certain space in GTA. You don't want someone in Vancouver or in South Africa, logging in and this sort of how do you put the price to them, right? So it has to be you have to sort of control it in a certain location. And in the future, maybe we could sell the app to different government agencies, 50 states in the US, 10 provinces in Canada. So we have to be able to identify the location. And the app has to be able to, or we have to be able to store the user information. It has to flash out questions, maybe 5 random questions from a bank of questions. Accept the answers and see if their answer is right and give them a score. So the app has to be able to interact with the database, and it has to be able to prevent double entry. You don't want someone keep entering it and finally they get all the answer correct. So after they enter once, if they try to enter again, you say, well, sorry, you tried already, try in a week. And has to have a way to inform the winner. We have a random draw to inform the winner. It may be through email or Facebook posting or phone messages. So I need your help. We need your help. So together we can change the world one game at a time. Any questions?
Okay. So thank you very much, Doctor. So our next presenter will be Owen Wong, who is a registered physiotherapist, and Kevin Purcell, who is a nurse practitioner, who will be talking about communication application of the same institution, Salt Lake Hospital. Sir.
Hi guys, while we get this set up, so my name's Owen, I'm a physical therapist. In case you wanted the basic gist, if you're not sure, right, it's basically in a hospital setting. If you're really sick and yet at the hospital and you need to see a physical therapist, I'm there to try to teach you how to walk again. And if I can't teach you how to, but me and a team of people, right, we'll try to teach you how to walk again. And if I can't, and the team of people can't teach you how to get around and move better again, we try to for the next best thing, right, for you to get around as best as possible, right? I'm gonna, while this is getting set up, because I set this up really late last night. Yes.
One at a time.
Sure. So, please. It might be me talking a lot.
Try browser. Try browser.
I got like 17 pictures I just want to talk about. While they set this up, I'm going to try a little experiment here. Can I just get everyone to like raise their hands? Just raise your hands, okay? And I'm going to ask you to lower your hand if you are not going to get older next year. Okay. I'm going to ask you to lower, okay, everyone's hands still up. I'm going to ask you to lower your hand if your mom or your dad or a relative is not going to get older next year. Okay, so this might affect everybody in this room, okay? It might affect everybody in the world, okay? What I'm trying to do, real quick, is I'm trying to create a secure text messaging app, okay? I'll go into that a little bit more, okay? And why I'm saying this is going to affect everybody in this room, see here, is because the older you get, you're going to get sick. I don't care who you are, you're going to get sick, and you're going to end up in the hospital, right? When you're in the hospital, you have a team of people that have to work on trying to get you better, okay? We need to collaborate and communicate in order to get you better, right? So what you guys, whatever app you guys work on today, you guys are all working on healthcare, just give yourselves a pat on the back, because you guys are going to make a meaningful difference in healthcare. Anyways, yes, very good. So please try something. Okay. So next picture, please. Sure. Well, it's gonna slow down the presentation. All right. I don't care who you are. It's gonna affect you. Okay. So I'm very happy you guys are working on this. Right? So I'll get extra points if you know this next picture. It's really small. Does everyone know what that is?
That's a power glove.
It's a power glove. Okay. This is from 1989. Okay. All right. And then we'll see the next picture. You know what that is? It's from 1989. Okay. This is what I used to talk to your mom's doctor. This is what your mom's doctor uses to talk to me. Okay. Next picture, please. So healthcare loses $8.3 billion per year due to outdated technology. Okay, this is a reality. Right? Anytime I need to talk to Dr. Young, anytime I need to talk to any of the other clinicians, if I need to find them, I have to page them. I don't know if you guys even seen a pager before. Okay. That was what a picture looked like. All right, this is what I use. This is what a lot of clinicians use. There's a lot of unstructured data and information, right, that is in healthcare because it's about organizing care. And sometimes when you can't get a hold of a person or you're taking a message for somebody, you scribble on a piece of note. And I got solutions because I know where some doctors hang out. I know where some clinicians are. I know they walk by a certain hallway. I could take down something maybe in some kind of corner of the nursing station. There's a computer, an open desktop that everyone walks by. It's behind a nursing station, so it's secure. All right, so this is how we get in touch with people. We have other methods as well. Next one. There's a telephone. This is my pager. Okay, that's a communication note that we use. We sort of sometimes it's not always photocopied, right? So it's a little bit on an angle, right? I can write down how to get in touch with someone. I leave it on the front of the chart because I know the doctor is going to go there. Hopefully they'll come across it, right? I can take it maybe around the nursing station. They can find that. Broken communication from last-minute changes and unplanned activities become more common with patients that do not follow a routine of care. All right, I rely upon the pager, scraps of papers. It creates inefficiencies and numerous potential instances for broken communication to occur. Right. So a real-life situation. Let's say your grandmother breaks a hip. All right, someone you here might know of a situation like that, right? We're going to try to get them better as best they can, but then they're going to need like a wheelchair maybe. Okay, so the best way to get a wheelchair, so the occupational therapist, they're going to contact a vendor outside. They're going to be playing a little bit of phone tag. That vendor outside is going to be calling in. They can't reach them on their pager. They're going to leave a message with the unit desk, right? That then maybe by the end of the day you'll check your mailbox, right? At the end of the day, but the whole day has already passed, right? You already missed the message, right? That happens, right? What if there's a last minute change and you need to get in touch with somebody? There's so many scenarios that this can happen, right? But we have solutions. We have solutions. This is what we work on, right? Hopefully we can get in touch with somebody, right? Another situation. Let's say you have a doctor transferring care from one floor to another, right? Complicated patient. You're not sure how well the patient's doing, right? But you really want to let the doctor know, there's so and so this thing. I mean, you have the electronic medical record, but it's literally a database of huge amounts of information, right? Sometimes you just got to say to the doctor in 5 words, check their INRs, they're a little bit wacky. That's it. 5 words. What do you mean by check the INRs? Then you can go into the electronic medical record. You can look at that. But we have other ways to get in touch with the doctor, right? If the doctor needs to talk to us, right? They're not sure what's going on, right? They'll leave notes. They'll use a pager. I mean, this is next picture, please. This is a little bit frustrating, right? It's a little bit annoying. So what we want, I talked to you about a secure text messaging app. So let's next picture, please. This is the Self-Link page, right? So imagine there's a button. It's just a button. That button can do a lot of things, right? You can get in touch with anybody in the hospital by pushing that button, right? So you can send them a secure text. Next page, please. So this is a screenshot of my mobile phone, right? This is a mobile page of Self-Link, right? Imagine there was a button, right? You just click the button, and on the button, next page, next one, please. You got sort of like a WhatsApp for doctors, a WhatsApp for clinicians, right? You can find all the clinicians in the hospital. You're gonna find all the patients in the hospital, all the teams associated, all the individuals associated with that person's care in the hospital. So you can click and find if you want to, you have to talk to someone, consult with someone, you just find them, find patients. Basically, I'll give you our quick value proposition. This might summarize it a bit. Southlake's ePager is and will be a secure text messaging app that eliminates broken communication among a patient's hospital care team. The ePager is free for clinicians to use. It offers greater information security, and most importantly, has a user experience specifically tailored to hospital clinicians. Clinicians are running around the hospital all the time. Hard to get a hold of people, right? So we need a user experience that matches that workflow. It makes BYOD secure text messaging. Everyone has their own smartphone nowadays. It turns your own smartphone into a pager. Right. This is real-time sharing of unplanned information. Right. So a couple of the features we're looking for, essentially a secure text messaging app, and what that means, it has to have a certain compliance. I have a whole list of features here. I'm happy to talk to you guys about it later. It's got to be secure, obviously, but two things we're looking very particularly in is you have to be able to find the staff directory on the contacts list, right? You click on the contacts list, every single hospital clinician should be on there, right? So you can contact anybody you want. You should also be able to find every patient in the hospital on that app, right? So 435 plus patients in the hospital, right? All in different rooms, right? They move around, they switch around, right? You gotta be able to find that patient. And then each patient will have a number of clinicians associated with that patient. So those are very important things we need to find. There's other things like maybe sharing files, right? Transfer notes, maybe escalating it to a voice call, like, a text not good enough, so you hit the call button, like, I gotta talk to you, right? A voicemail box, something like that, right? All internal, right? And I'm happy to talk to you guys about this a lot later. Right? But that's my presentation. Thank you.
So we're down with two more challenges, and I know you're all very excited, so may I just remind all the students who are interested in asking questions, you just please write down your questions, and we'll be giving you time allocation after the last two presentations to ask the questions, okay? So for the next presentation, we asked Ms. Lisa Perugini, who is the Attendance Support Administrative Assistant of the Occupational Health, Safety, and Wellness Department of Southlake Hospital. We'll be presenting the employee absence reporting application.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lisa, and I work in the Occupational Health Department. I look after the attendance support, which means all employees at the hospital, if they can't come to work, they need to call myself or call the sick line right now, as we have it, to report being absent. And the reason they do that is, number one, to get paid for their sick time. And number two, the hospital tracks any infectious symptoms per department. So that way we don't have an outbreak at the hospital. So that's the first key in my role, is to make sure that we keep that under control, the infectious side. And also I do make sure that the employees get paid for their sick time. The other method of calling in sick is through email. And a lot of our employees use this right now, but I've heard complaints about it's very hard to find the email address. It's, they forget the name of it, or it's not easily located when they're at home. So they just pick up the phone and call the sick line. But for me, ideally, what would be great is if you guys can provide an app for the employees that they can use, and it's one click of a button, and the app will pop up with a form. And I have this kind of form, but Vikram will be able to give you more detail. But the form ideally would connect to the Southlake internet page like OM had on his slide, And every employee at Southlake, they have their own login and password. So because we have to keep this very confidential, I can't have employees using their own email addresses, because on our sick email, it has an automatic notification saying, yes, we received your sick email. But if you use it from your Hotmail or Gmail or whatever, it doesn't give you that notification. I do get the email, but I have to manually email them back because of our firewalls or whatever have you. But anyways, if you guys can create this app for us, it'd be fantastic. And then that would make it would be easier for the employees to report their absences. It would be easier for me to track the symptoms. Because right now, even when they call us, sometimes they don't leave their symptoms. Like they'll say, you know, I'm just sick. But if we can kind of create this report so that they have to kind of tick off why they're calling in sick, that would help the hospital tremendously. Like it would just create a better reporting system for us as well, and tracking system. So ideally, you know, they click on this app, they have to log in with their login and password, and then this form pops up. And they have to just put in their first and last name, their employee number if they know it, but it's not mandatory, the date that they're calling in sick for, so the shift that they're missing, the hours of work that they're missing, because this is an identifier that we need to pay them correctly. Because at the hospital, there's so many different kinds of shifts. There's 12-hour shifts, 10-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, so we want to pay them correctly. And then most importantly, we need to know what department they're from, because if they tell us their department, then this app can email the department and say, this person's not coming in tomorrow, find a replacement, right? And then this app has to be kind of split up into two, because first of all, we need to notify the department, but then secondly, their symptoms cannot go to the department because that's personal and confidential information, but that the symptoms should report out to me. Or to occupational health department. And the second part of the app would ask the questions, do you have any fever, cough, sore throat, you know, nausea, diarrhea, whatever. So infectious symptoms that we ask for. And that's it in a nutshell. So if you guys can help us out with that, it would make my life and the occupational health department's lives very much easier, and the employees as well. Like, you know, if they have an app and it makes it easier for them because they're sick, they don't want to call or look up in a computer or whatever, they'll have their phone beside them, click the app, boom, you know, I can't come to work tomorrow. So that'd be great if you guys can help us out.
So we're down with our last challenge. So my call on now Ms. Diane Dean, who is the pharmacist and is under the apprentice program of Southwest Regional Health Center, and she'll be talking about the nutrition game challenge.
Okay, very excited to be here. Lorna Bain, coordinator from our program, the Apprentice program, is also here. So we are very happy to share with you this opportunity. We call it Shopping for Calcium at the Rainbow Food Market. So at the Apprentice program, just very quickly, the heart and soul of what we do is actually patient education. And we really believe that if the person, our consumer, our patient is educated, is engaged and motivated, they will have the confidence to manage their health condition. So that's the crux of this. The current process, why do we are asking for this app, is because calcium intake in the right amount is very important for bone health. And it is present in many, many food items of varying amounts. And the recommendation, the most up-to-date recommendation, it is better to get it from food than popping pills, than supplement. So it is important to teach our users the right portion size that comes to any, you know, dietary or nutrition information. Portion size really counts, and to know the amount of calcium. Currently, what we've been using for a long time now at the Arthritis program, we hand this out. So this is a paper resource that patient loves at this time because we didn't have the other option. And so it has the food items, the portion size, the milligram, the amount, and they are to do the math to add it up. And there's no animation. The similar kind of experience, you can also get it online, but also no animation. At this moment, we're looking for an app that will be most suitable for desktop or tablets. The only reason I'm saying that is because at our program, we did kind of like an environmental scan. And we're looking at this app mainly for the age group 50 plus. That's just because that this is currently our audience. Doesn't mean that under 50, you don't need calcium amount or the right amount. And when we survey them, we ask them their access to computer and their access to smartphone. So that was like fall last year data, and a good portion of them have no access to smartphone, but very much in tune with going online, computer, and look up resources that way. And the idea is that we would like you to help us to create a simulated grocery shopping experience to teach them the good sources of calcium and how to get it most from food. And we're looking at a one-day calcium requirement, and we also follow the Canada Food Guide to give it in context of how to eat well. So the functionality of the app, the setting, like I said, say this is a person of age 50 plus, and that 1200 milligram, that's, the content is important because that is the recommended amount for that age group and either male or female. So we'll start off with, or request is start off with a tutorial of how to read food labels. And this is an example of a food label, a yogurt kind of label. So we want the app to start off before the game per se experience to highlight how to read the labels properly, to know the serving size, the daily value, and how to translate the calcium 10% to the milligram amount of 100 milligrams. So because they need to understand that in their daily shopping experience on how to get the good calcium. Then is the action time. So they will go shopping. The setting is the Rainbow Food Market. And keeping with the Canada Food Guide, as you can see in this slide, some of you may be familiar with the rainbow color. So we're thinking to really, in the concept and visually, link the good balanced diet eating. In this grocery store, perhaps we're going to have food items on shelves and matching the color of the food guide of the appropriate food groups there. And when the user will be going into this aisle and click on the food items on the shelf, we are asking for kind of like a pop-up caption balloon idea to give them the information they need on the label, the item, the portion size, and the amount in milligram of calcium, and kind of like a claim, whether it is actually the claim goes by excellent, good, source of calcium or no source. So I'll give you all of that context type of information at the end of the slide. And what we're envisioning is if they're going shopping, they can go and click and, educate themselves, just like, what are the food items and how much calcium they have. And then the function of the app will allow them to decide whether it's a click or a drag to then I'm getting this item. Then it will go into the shopping cart. And they can, change their mind, they can get it out of the shopping cart. But the whole idea is that they go into the aisle to get what they need realistically in the day for the calcium from the food items. So we're also thinking that perhaps to track the progress of this, as they are shopping and dragging or clicking the food items in the shopping cart, there will be a visual kind of calcium counter, perhaps in the shape of a bone shape, and it get filled in or white out, whatever color, to indicate they are achieving the amount. And when they think they are done, there is an option to click checkout at the cashier, and that will give them the scoring of the amount of calcium they're getting. Perhaps they'll get it in the percentage, that's a scoring mechanism. And we're thinking realistically, there is a situation that maybe the person is getting way less than 1200 milligram, and that's not a right or wrong situation. But the moments of education, we're thinking of putting statements there to cover situations that maybe food intolerances or preferences. There's an option to meet the full requirement through
supplement. And also we're thinking, because it's a gaming experience, if someone is going to be putting in a lot and a lot and a lot of calcium, there's also a kind of like an upper limit. So we want to take that moment to educate the user of that aspect of things too. So that's the way to contact me. And at the end of the slides that you will have available are really the context of what we're looking to put in the app. And my team member, dietitian, she has put this together. We want to create an experience that gives people a variety of different items eaten within the same food group. And there are about 7 or 8 in each of the 4 food groups. And the information that you will need to create the food labels are all there for you. These are additional information that you would be able to look at what is currently available to us. And we're looking forward to your help and your solution to make this a much more engaging experience for our patients and for everyone.
So there's 3 design space here. Yeah. Okay, so we will now be entertaining some questions. I know you have written your questions a while back. So if you have some questions, you can raise your hand and you can address directly to the person responsible. Okay, who would like to give the first question? Or to ask the first question? Okay, so I'll now turn the floor to Vikram for the information. Oh, that's cool. His market is unbelievable. I don't know. I'll probably have to watch the VOD, but like some suggestions like updates for him
Yeah, first, I'd like to go. We'll be working
we probably have like the most easily definable cities are like actual.
So we have about half an hour.
Yeah, we have
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Oh, we can go to you. You better go.
Yeah, well, there's one of me.
Yeah.
That's so many of you.
Well, there's only 4
So have you already assigned your team to the project? All right, well, I'm going to run it.
understand that, you know, time is tight, you know, we're not looking at finding everything is done right. But it would be nice to see the framework. Oh, yes. I know.
Oh, I don't know.
You know, a little bit of action, color, you know, pictures, you know, music. I saw it on the system. And is this also an application? And they will actually analyze that. I understand that it's more like a trial and error. So the experience is very good. You know, I don't think, you know, you get to start to end. You know, very quickly. And so instead of asking that, how to get into the very best. That's not. So, you know, much lower amount, then I, you know, it's not right or wrong per se. There's a support method, and you're not just you just pick 4 glasses of is that they would try to be honestly reflecting what they're eating and that they would get a certain you know, we can get when they have would you like, you know, to mix up your new ideas, different choices and something like that, right? So I think we're struggling with the scoring or, you know, the game kind of format. I don't try to achieve a higher score. Yes, and now that's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, shoot as many men as you can. You really want to for your own health. Decide, you know, how could I do it? Oh, you might like, yes, and you will see it. Of what you choose to do. Yes.
So 1 year later, 1 year left, 5 years left, play what they choose, achieve what they want. That's what you should
You want to try again? You want to try again? You know, you want to try again? Learn
Maybe them that picture of and when they go with
you actually would figure that out. You know what I mean? So like when we were talking, you guys get a more information not really there. In our program, what we try to hope is that people have to figure that based on the information and experience and remembering, oh, I learned that, maybe it'll change the way they shop and then change the way they think and how I know. So that's a good thing.
we'll go through it.
Right? Like I was talking to the dentist. No, that's right. One of the things that we used in other programs is with the iPhone comparative. That's right. You know, so that's something. You know, so a friendly character and then maybe an operation. That's I was just showing you examples.
I don't think
the one that's organizing this.
Yeah, because we're all in the game program.
So I think they're heading to I'll be back in a minute.
I'm pretty much, except technical, I'm pretty much yes.
Program at different offices. And you would like it to be good for mobile. I understand that. So it is in mobile only to the type or say tablet only? I would like to have
I just 5 questions. I don't want you to tell your friends. So when you log in,
and so it has.
As far as like tablet versus speaking, it's not actually versus. So because the aesthetics of tablet usually do transfer well, especially for older people where their eyesight may be slightly more damaged. So you wouldn't want small. So you usually actually go for a closer to tablet experience. So that would actually, that's actually pretty easy to unify.
Yes, I like that, and then
You could actually have a project going into where we actually buy tablets.
So maybe like
share with our tablet.
You
Put the tablet right on there.
the PowerPoint. Just converted. What about
They have 5 questions out of 7.
If not, they have it there, and I send it to, I send the presentation to him.
So it'd be good to also put remarks in.
What you need to do for school? Like you mean like documentation and what you need documentation? Yeah, like it would not be like you would have to do all those to get to there, but you know for the ones you
prefer to see something practical rather than a
because I can understand.
No, it's not actually that hard.
But you know, I cannot be used on.
That was just part of it.
Is that how you understand it? Coming in, like before this, do you know what is the end product you're looking for? In what format? Really? Yeah, the documentation will not be matter to me. That's good? So this what I've given to you has an online version. And the solo online version is just exactly like this. Okay? And then the other link I gave to you has an online version, which is very similar to this, like asking what is your age group and you check, and then asking you to input an item on what you're doing. Yeah, so last I checked, well, we came up with this idea so I must say that I really understand in the last year, and when we came up with this idea, I still didn't quite that's something you should rush to. To get to that artistic part, right? So yes, it will be a prototype.
You might expect to see some like just Google image search.
But we try to get that's very fair. That's very fair because the others you can polish it later, but it's not only a concept that I think will be defined as a solution. This exercise, not the cosmetic piece.
Okay, great.
I did it. So, no. So one item is because I did this with the acquisition of the USH. I know. So you would so the truth is that probably late afternoon, once and then more.
You can call like our department number and say something that's a little bit more urgent, and that's right. They can call
I get the first like raw idea. So we will have shows. I think we will have ritual technology and then we'll see like after when someone picks certain this here's going to be all the bars we're going to fill in based on
let's say you don't have enough berries.
So
this is reflective of the picture.
Yes, and so they have a window on and then plus the main one is all of this, it shows you all of it. So you will see kind of your progress with what you lack in one. And then
I have I
when they click on the item, it'll pop up and show up there. The label and everything. And then once you put it in so that'll move
Oh, yeah, sure. Why not? Something goes in the keep track of what your items were originally, and then what you switched to, so that we can see the differences. Like they could talk about the differences between what the initial situation and what they've actually ended up with. And then think about that when they do something, not make it about other. So you're now going tomorrow you're coming back.
an apple.
Yeah, so it's not apple top.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was so funny.
So you mean like you initially you have the choose blindly from the list of providers what they would imagine would see, and then at the actual shopping mall itself, while they're putting stuff in shopping area, they would actually look at the labels and end up with probably something else that they see.
So that they would, and that would create the behavior change, like, oh yeah, I always loved apples, but if I choose pears, it's much better for my own health. So I'm gonna remember that to take care of that. So they would know. I think because one thing that we're asking for is there are no labels on apples, pears, and all those things, right? So for the education experience, it would be they would have to click and then you would have a pop up. But I think that in order to kind of save it so that they don't like pick it up and then put it back, it has to actually go in the cart, the register to create the list, and then for them to think whether they made the right choice or not, to go back and do something else. And the whole thing is like, it's nice kind of, it has to do with because whether it's pear, apple, or the most they have is 50 milligrams. So how does 50 go into 1,200? Not much. So the whole idea is that if you scrap dairy, you're not going to get there. And you will figure that out when you play that game. So it's not like, we're not going to be really prescriptive. So you have to have this, you have to this. I think that's the idea is that they're very choices. Wherever possible, that is reflecting. That's right. They really don't want to. That they're really getting educated on their own choices and maybe thinking about some options. And that's what probably the pop-up that Mona was suggesting, a good guy or not a bad guy, but different kind of comments that yes. Okay, thanks so much. Okay, thank you. See you then. But only this starts.
Creative pockets.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And inspection takes a lot.
I mean,
a single cube with a little brown cylinder poking out this and that. And also, like, as soon as you said like underrepresenting I immediately thought of these
You can open that
we just take out the guy. Yeah, we take out the guy.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
The thing is, he has his budget.
Exactly, then we can convert that. That's great.
The thing is, there was a guy who wants to do like, he was like eventually.
Our office phone number. I'm actually not there today.
So don't call you right now. We're gonna just email.
And then I'm on the road, but I will check it, every couple of hours. And tonight, I probably will not check it after. And then this is the extension to the appraisal program. But if there's something that you cannot get a hold of, then they can.
I'll better just maybe if we have a.
That's right.
We just send an email with.
Yeah. I do understand that it makes sense if you want, not that you're stuck, and you want to have clarification. Is that what you want? Then before you move forward, I do understand that. Yes. Okay.
And he's less experienced in anything.
So we have like Yes, the bars are small, and then what it does is you need to like keep eating everything and there's
Is it a sort of RP sort of? Yeah, that's better. And also like this is sort of a brainstorming sort of syntax that I came up with for my current where the user requirements are italics and then each person suggests so
I can see three colors in products, bone or gold is counting bars for it, for picks, and then cards, and the labels. That's like when they hover on top of the mouse, that will be labels. And I'm gonna focus maybe now on touch. Just touch is pretty fun. So show them, we'll do web gel, build for web, so they will see it on the web, and then we will tell that we can convert that actually have the phones and see it, but not by we will show it click on how we're
Where's the LMS?
Okay.
Yeah. I've also uploaded the PowerPoint.
Yeah, we will need that. So just see, so write down the functionality and then look at what you have. Check all the pictures we need. So
We should probably remember that it's possible.
Because the teams are okay. Get the
They need more there, like
Who would this day home to? Be like Robin Williams in Actually, no, that wasn't Rick Henry, so that was piece. Yeah, one thing, I don't actually have the meaning, but I get to like quote the bottom line. So sometimes I might say stuff that appears unrelated because I've been like in my brain.
And there will be.
Yeah, it's just that you don't really know it. You guys don't really know it. So it's better if you just sort of get to efficiency's sake. Show us something. Oh.
It's almost like making somebody happy without progress. This part is right.
So you guys are thinking
We would do the same for this. I'm just showing you the color.
Okay.
So that's another.
If the next game object on this list is not No, Ben, that is beyond. Is it an actual US? Well, it's the best mouse for the price.
Yeah, but right.
Really?
That says that's just when you get bored, you just like that's our customer. It's our customer. They ask like, do we implement UI? I can't answer now.
Best managers ever.
You're like, should I go with the Android version? It's like, no. Stars says no. You're like, okay.
I assume it isn't like
it's like,
I saw that where it's
like
that we use our card for flying.
It really looks like
actually there's plenty here. There's plenty on this side. There's like this inappropriate.
Sorry.
You can do that. All right, obviously, technical skill are at my forte since I never did.
So I guess the best way that you should do is just start running. So and just convert it into perfect. Unlike assignment to objects, many definitions, basic. So this is the so while it sounds one click or press the this, cover in this. Yeah, you can do that. That's number one. The console, maybe you can turn it into the system outside. So then you run
better if we're all facing the same way, because this way we can keep.
Okay, you're facing.
Yeah, if we're all on this side of the bridge, we can use the local.
Ah, you want to move there?
Put stuff in the database.
Like if you want to show us.
Each every one of them. This process is designed to
based on that, I wanted to leave it free this way. So that it's like so first they need to look at their data. Their presentation.
And then like next week, have an like
Yeah, you'll be confident. And that's better because Kevin is the one that kind of mentioned. Oh yeah. You're the latest to know. More.
Do you think that's
No, we will not your product will start ours, but we just. That's why just to know how to. So for example, yeah, like we want to bar, we check how your bar works, and then we just take it outside.
That makes sense.
what the person
Maybe another image. Maybe like image page.
So kind of that's exactly this, and so we can use product. That's assigned to the product, and whatever you drag, and what I was thinking about is so you know, yeah, he was inside, like no connection. All of it is yeah, I love that game. And then yes, that's it. So if you want to find one, so we have like so we
have verified.
So and then what else is one? So They have the start, they have like 730 and labor. So when they offer, it's still like that's when you enter the object. And we have this but then finally, we don't have much to write.
It's gotta have room for stuff to show up. Like it's gotta be.
So we're gonna say 5 now, and then we should change to another 5. But right now we just have 5. We don't even have to implement this. So that and then this doesn't need to be like this. Then maybe and then I don't know what about these bars. Oh yeah, you can actually have a picture filled in. Oh, really? Yeah. So most we need to have like I mean, but what is just a bar? I don't think
oh, wait.
And then this one, we can't really have a segment because it's going to be white. So it's going to be hard to have a white bar in the middle of my bone.
They should be conversing and they should be.
Another way, another thing intermediate talks is how to make it collaborative so we can do it at the same time. The only way I see is make our projects to and then we just combine them. So for example, you want a bar, so make it some bars and react on data. Take them data, put it on the shelf so that so someone just needs to implement like to take an object. Another thing here is drop it in the object and we have a little message and we just add it later. That's on the phone. I don't have any idea.
I think a little bit. And I actually implemented this thing for dragging stuff around that might be actually doing that.
So yeah, if you want, if you feel comfortable with dragging, you do it
Yes.
Yeah, the authentication
then I can start having set up the main where we all the pieces will be set up.
Oh my God, they
tried. Or you can what the final right. And better it to be the same slide, but not that you possibility of maybe someone can go so many. And the last time, if you guys remember last time, that's why it's just the same that way. And then from that point, Or you can have the, like, right now, object. However, you have a little box and that's like one example. And then I will do this. And then if you want time, you can try to do card. But the card should whatever you drop it in, for example, so what card should do? So the card can just box now, whatever you drop in it should save it as like a list, okay? And then we need to based on that list, we need to
inventory.
Yeah, kind of. But like, okay, if you okay, we'll set it up. And after that, we need to drag and then we drop
work with gravity. Like so you can take it off the shelf and drop it and fall out. Is that what you need? Because what this does is you click on something on the screen, you start dragging and you let go and it stops.
Okay, in that case, then we need to drag it. Will just disappear at that point, I guess. Better have it that way. And when it disappears, you just update the card. We take the item, we take the cards, and then we just make it. We have like, where's our box? Can you check this out? Okay, can we get on that? No doubt. Okay, wait. There's a big chance.
Yeah, it was. Oh, really? I was here at the work.
We tell them then. Sometimes we can go around. Yep, that one is so simple. That's not that easy. No, you use that shape. Yeah, we do. For us, we don't need to see. So whatever. So what I was saying is the simple way of like we have is and P is gold, and we have this counter on top of it. Shows how many guys. I don't know if that's still here.
We need to keep track of everything. Like have some of the receipts sort of thing.
Oh, no.
The thing was just like
What if you just decide to write down the not like the side of it? Whole thing. It's a card. So it's just so this whole place here, it's a card, right? Whenever you drag in here, it's just space on the left. Right? So it's a slot. And those cover it again, you just see what it is. And then we have, for example, number here, 25 items. And then all of this will update, and you can cancel them out by dragging them out. Or you have so that will be inventory then. Yes. Because I was thinking, like, choice of what is inside, add something else when we have already this, and this, just drag them. And then you can clean it. Oh yeah, so this I didn't know. Metal line, so which says that's your card kind of use your card like this and it's it's okay, I got finals, right? So if you go to 25 for each 5 food based on what they eat, you'll search there's maybe I know that who already on most, and then we just
So you will actually work today? You know, you knew that. So I don't know. I guess it's to the end of the month. Okay. Yeah. I'm sending mail to Jason.
I saw like all the mails you sent from like last 3-4 days and all
I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Today, yeah. We have nothing to do.
What's your project?
So we do basically, I will say 2 words. It's a shopping cart, which we have 4 aisles of food. We have your cart. Drag one food in, and that's
I love that. It could have been so much greater.
So there's a hospital that one people track the calories. So so we have a whole list of food there. It's always calcium. So whatever you put, we have 4 bars, which will be updating. You know, the progress bars, which will be updating every time you put any type of food, and then there will be a huge button on the top who will show you 100% calcium, which will hit 100% for calcium. So I already have like that. Yeah, you see, that's
My signature.
and it's will web gel, so we just will put it on. We have most of it. It's like not much functionality. It's good because if you do all the functionality, then we can spend time more to make it look nicer. And then that's what they will more like really nice looking.
I can just take my old contract. Which kind of does like.
We can have like, you know, music with the bones in the beginning, like. Nah, I'm gonna go.
That'd be creepy.
Yeah. No, you know what was a little bit creepy? The one you quickly found was the skeleton guy.
Oh yeah,
The guy like all these people looking and it's like just you're like you better get it, help him, man.
Would be terrified by Santa virus.
It's like you almost
They look very weird.
yeah, it's like you better get your costume.
Oh my God! Someone made it. Someone's setting up the spikes for caramel dance.
But that's yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah. Are you? Wait up. I want to go.
So I have no idea what's best practices. So like he told me he wants me to do the straight up like collide with the Starkey store.
Yeah.
So tags, is that okay? Like collide with the Starkey store. That's yeah. Once collided tag with food meets collided tag with card. Just make it add on to the make it add on to the card. That's done because I was like it's literally 2 lines ago.
I'm sure why you have it working already. Because there were going to take my when my old
I don't know if you
told you like it's you don't have time. So no, you don't need to be so yeah. Yeah. It's like yeah. That's the problem. Yeah, you can say that. No, the thing that's like the killer thing. So yeah, you know, it's how you present. You can have a really well programmed. That's the most yeah.
For dedication. Whether or not I didn't watch this. Do you think you already have some?
Because it's hard to learn when you click the right.
I have to click this one. It's supposed to take an object. You're supposed to understand the object.
Yes,
I'm sorry. Can I come back?
There's another thing that is.
You only can come back to pretty sports.
Oh,
right. I thought you meant Snickers.
Welcome back to 5.
How it is in our it's like wait, is he gonna be fired or come back? I mean, if he's not coming back. Yeah, I don't know if there's more chances. Less chances. It's like I give you life, give it. Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember what happened here. My transcript actually was doing weird stuff, so I had to find stuff online. And I found this like really fancy one where it's sort of like it follows it elastically so that it looks more natural than
Like we can have first like rock, but then if we can upgrade more nice, then for them better. We can have like sparkles, you know, when you separate them. Better, but right now those the first get work, and then we have before.
anyone can see through his multiple. So instead of
It's redefining horrible.
That he
That's what it says.
Oh, yeah, that's all I was going to make.
There's going to be collision.
So if you want to use private people.
So it's like you say on collision with this.
Yeah, it's tag it with a card or something.
Tag them all as
individuals. Yeah.
So.
I thought that someone didn't have a name, that's why I took this one.
No individual.
That's our supervisor.
So we don't have.
That's what the.
So we cannot send only personal email ID. All those on my table.
Those individuals.
Also, you guys keep in mind how much of a leg up we've got on everyone else, because we can get really fast. We have no
That's when the person raise, the person will send and report them and cover. Hello, we can do that.
Still, that needs to be a manual process where someone from my department will enter and put in this ID, like the address, where this report needs to get sent to. But how frequently it gets sent to is something that
So after it gets ready, then we have to decide where to send it.
I decide.
So you are, aren't you in the hackathon? We have a.
Okay.
So what we can do, so with the emails, we can send it to you. I mean, the reports which are confidential.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the generally those happen. This never happens.
So, I can take all of your.
Never touched the internet that way.
I find the material first.
I just need
For a prototype, we can just fetch database.
Was he driving an object and not a
quality of this video. It's true. Like, look at that. Like you walk in the back corner now.
You just teleport this fire away, and you destroy it like it in like just have the card script whatever.
And then here,
Also can be generated sort of like what
I get stuck on the screen of me getting out.
Yeah, he's doing your range.
so yeah, here is it. Yeah.
So, okay. No, I'm just going like really low level. This is all I know.
We could, but like, I mean, right now we're driving and streaming outside on the. I mean, they won't even hear most of the stuff on the presentation, so like, how are you gonna have, if you can't even
But the school sucks. The school now sucks. Being truthful here. So even that is the lowest setting in this film.
Okay, but then what if the same object, they want two cups of water. So you can get one of the things, yeah. Like the Google. So yeah, I mean, they let you, they have like a amount of things, but you know, for example, like right here on our.
I can try and stop the increase. But at the beginning, it was fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is it recording that?
Yeah, go to YouTube. Run on that.
That's why.
So if you go, keep it as an object. You just right out one, two, stop this.
Just